The Dauntless. So, this is normal? Completely normal? Modan asks even as he fiddles with the bow tie. After some deliberation and the Lance 02 launching with all the spies from Earth and towing a cargo hauler full of raw and prefabricated materials, it had been decided that they would all bite the bullet and just get things over with. Yes, yes it is. I mean, normally you pay a great deal for a professional matchmaker, but it seems Sir Philip is just a professional at everything. Jadza answers as Modan fidgets. He's one of those people you have to avoid comparing yourself to if you want to sleep at night. This from the super soldier disaster survivor and Axiom adept? Jadza asks. I was also halfway through an archaeological degree when I shifted gears to train for the Dauntless, Modan adds. Of course. So the scholarly super soldier that cannot be killed finds himself humbled next to a skinny old man with bad eyes. To be fair, that's one monster of an old man, and the monocle is just for show or to suppress the killing look he can give. The rumors shift fairly quickly. I'm surprised that there's no one who said he could fire lasers from his eyes. There was a rumor for a few months that the monocle was a focusing lens for the beam, Modan states with a grin. Relax, the sisters are wonderful people. They're not going to just jump on you and start working on the next generation, Jadza tells him, and he grins. Well, now you've jinxed it. Jinxed it? Look it up, it's worth a chuckle, he says as he checks his communicator. So, I've been told that the Gravia are incredibly precise in all they do. Does that mean they're going to arrive the second it's time, as in 8 seconds? It's very true. The whole reason they sound like they do is because galactic trade. Jadza begins to explain and the door opens. Pink and shiny white on 3. One's a 16-bit woman. Another is a mass of polygons and spheres in a vaguely female shape, and the last one is a woman so flawlessly put together it nosedives right into the uncanny valley. Oh my goodness, you can see the outline of him being ready to shift. It's so cute, like he's totally got a picture of a baby on his back. The polygon states as the shapes suddenly coalesce into a photorealistic woman and she rushes him to start walking around and examines him closely. Oh wow, you've totally spent like a lot of time bringing Axiom into your mind. That's like so totally cool. Mana, he's totally overwhelmed. Don't rush him. The 8-bit Gravia has gone 32 bits and pulls her sister back. The Uncanny Valley one has suddenly had whatever graphics card is running her crash, and she's suddenly straight out of a late 90s video game, even as she steps in front of the other two and reaches out to touch Modan's face. Her hand feels normal. He blinks in confusion at that. It's like totally your first time meeting with Gravia, isn't it? She asks, and he nods. You should totally close your eyes. It helps because we're so totally bending the wavelengths of light around us and not actually distorting and shifting. He closes his eyes and reaches up to grab her hand. Nothing like polygons or anything, but I'm not sure I understand. How is it that your kind bend light around themselves and cause that effect? Is it deliberate? A side effect? It's totally a side effect. Think of it like if you were distorting gravity so totally hard that it started messing with light. That's us, we're the gravity being bent. But we're totally Axiom instead. I see, he says, opening his eyes. Is she two-dimensional now? And the speech patterns? This language is totally inaccurate and insufficient for passing hard data. So we have to pepper it to show uncertainty or insufficiency in things, and totally to show that things need to be totally exaggerated in order to get anywhere near close to the actual meaning, she says with a smile that looks literally painted on. Then she goes 8-bit. So, Modan begins. You're totally concerned about the socio-political ramifications of courting across state and species boundaries due to the sheer newness of things, let alone the fact that to you, even having 2 girls is totally unacceptable, and the signs of things like a moral failing, right? Mana asks quickly. Yes. Oh, you totally don't have to worry. We've all totally talked about it and everything's going full steam ahead as it'd be rude to not accept at this point. Although that older man is totally scary in that he can get so much done in one move. Really freaky, you know? That level of calculation and timing takes work even from most Gravia. Does it now? Modan asks as he gives Jadza a confused look. They were the first ones that approached me out of everything that was going to happen. To make things easy, it's a first-come, first-serve policy, Jadza says before grinning. They were most excited in order to see your little trick. Apparently, they think it's adorable. I developed the ability to manipulate probability, and the infrastructure needed to get it running is adorable, he asks. You can still be powerful and cute. Look at the Tree Eye. Their touch and mere presence is death itself. But if not for that, then you'd see them everywhere. They're so cute, one of the girls states. He glances over all of them and then expands his senses, further and more focused. Reality starts to run at the edges with the sheer amount of data trying to pour in that his mind can't process. The sheer presence of the Gravia is fascinating. He can't make out the formulae, however, so he grows stronger and stronger as his mind evolves. All three Gravia gasp as his mind grows stronger, and the data starts to become comprehensible. The shifting around the Gravia sisters fades away, and he starts to view them in their fullness. That's totally adorable, one of them states even as he expands further to try and puzzle things out. Girls, he's looking at us as hard as we're looking at him. Totally cute. How many people can really see a Gravia? I could fill a library with a micro-printing of this formulae. Modan notes as he further expands his mind and more of things become clear. The illusion is just gone now. He can see the event horizon where it's created. It's just a centimeter past their skin. Although, to be honest, it's more the point of coalescence where the sheer data and energy come together and form a physical being that is simultaneously in a state of energy and a state of matter. A reflection without a mirror. A shadow with nothing to cast it, an echo with no sound to cause it, yet somehow the truth. Billions of layers down, each layer is the answer to an increasingly simplified equation. It goes down and down into the very core of their beings, down and down. He's totally looking deep. This is the most exposed a girl's ever been. Should we stop? Modan, what are you seeing? Down and down. The calculations becoming more and more simplified until it reaches a core. A single statement. Life. An exploration of life from a mathematical standpoint and then expressed outwards. Which leaves a question. Where do the variances come in? Clearly, the equations have differing end results despite using similar formulae and starting at the same point. All three of them are life equal sign followed by the next layer out. Where did female come in? Where did sentience come in? Where did individual choice, preference, and names come in? At what level is a person? He's literally shaken out of his reverie and then shakes his head to come back to the present. He turns to look at Jadza in some surprise. What were you looking at? She demands. He was totally looking at the infinite central equation, the first progenitor thesis which we all carry, the very central soul of the Gravia, where we're all born and where we first touch the galaxy, one of the Gravia says. It takes years and years for someone to ever see it. Only Gravia see it that fast. You're part Gravia this way. It's more than just having a bunch of extra minds carried on your back. You touch the equation. You even put a little bit of it into your own. And you've yet to give me your proper names, he says before glancing at them again and seeing something odd. On all three of them there are the equivalent to the number 420 directly center on their throats, right where a tight collar necklace would have its centerpiece. Wait, that's why you're the 420 sisters. It's a fraction of your equation, strategically located. That's totally right. It's part of how we choose our names. Different traditions and beliefs of the Gravia use different parts of the body and the equations lying there as part of the name. On Centris, there are 4 major groups. Those like us that use the center of the throat, from where speech comes from. Some use the tip of their dominant pointer finger. Others use the center of the back of their non-dominant hand, and the last major group is like totally strange in that they use their eyelashes. It's kind of funny, that one. Why is that one funny? Jadza asks, and there are shrugs. It just is to us. The sheer amounts of variance that emerge from the same equation allows for massive differences when you finally reach the final level. The equation is not just about life, but is life. Life equals. And any number of microscopic or atomic scaled occurrences can cause massive variation later in the formulae. Just the creation of an equation, this insanely complicated, is nothing short of a miracle. With the differences and oddities adding up quickly, you very swiftly get completely unique individuals crafted from the exact same components. That axiom elementals made of math. Wow. He gets it. He totally does. Can we, keep him? Men that can, understand Gravia are totally rare. Men in general are a little rare girls. You have to share, Jadza says gently. Oh, I'm willing. Look at these axiom constructs. They're like halfway between hard drives and 4 brains. The sequence they're hooked up in is totally clever. You've taken a lot of time to get this right. One of the 420 sisters states, and he starts to identify them by the letters used in the massive equations. The one identified as Mara has M4R4 directly above the 420 on her throat. Next to her is 3V3 and M4Y. All right, girls, Mara, Eve, May, calm down a little, he states, and there's gasping. He figured it out, Mara exclaims gleefully. That's so cute. May cheers. Oh, he totally failed trying to guess the names of the girls who use their fingertips, Eve says with a smile. Of course, yeah. He totally failed that they don't use their equations for the first part of their names. It's based on personal experience for them. May reacts and brushes off her sister. Oh, we totally need to turn this into a date. I thought it was neat before, but now we gotta do this. We totally have to. Then they all start moving, and both Modan and Jadza find themselves quickly bundled through the area and eventually into the bright pink car of the 420 sisters. So, how big are Gravia families anyways? Modan asks, wondering if them being this many sisters is odd on the low side or the high side. He knows that if attention is being brought to the fact that they're sisters, then it's odd at any rate. Really, really big. We're living axiom constructs so we don't get any older. Every single Gravia that uses the central throat numbering scheme on Centris is a direct relation to us. The other 3 groups are our cousins. Grandma 6 is the oldest Gravia on Centris and the grandmother or mother of all of us. Surely not all of you. There's likely some visitors at the very least. Maybe to most visitors too. She's totally old. One of the sacred 100, from 0 to 99. The first generation of Gravia. Grandma 6 wasn't born whole. She was equated into being, Eve explains. Wait, if you 3 are Centris natives, then why are you working for the Therasite Republic? Jadza asks. She had never had cause to question their loyalty before. They'd been working for the agency when she had first been assigned, but we were totally born on embassy grounds and grew up here. We've visited every world in the Republic, but our work and place is here on Centris, Mara says. And what does Grandma 6 think of that? Modan asks. She loves us. All 3 sisters chime. You do know that sounded really creepy, right? But she does. We have no doubts, they say together again. None at all, Eve adds. Nope, not a one, Mara continues. We can see it in her equation. She adores us. May chimes up. If you ever meet her, you'll see it too. It's so neat that you can see right into our equations and see a Gravia the way Gravia do. It's so cute, Eve adds. Do you think that any human babies born of a Gravia might totally do the same? It totally hasn't happened with other races, but the evolutionary similarities with the Tretts suggest no, Mara asks. Oh, I'm sure you three will find out one way or another sooner or later, Jadza notes. So where are we actually going? Modan asks. On a date. All three chime out. They're either just that much in sync or they're deliberately messing with him.